SFA, this is GF Laserbolt from GamerFeature.com, and today I want to talk to you guys about something I didn't know, and thanks to Moonchild, we were doing the raid, and he told me, I got a bunch of boots from my Warlock, and I was like, I'm going to switch them over to my other character, and he told me, no, don't switch them over, because each additional raid gear that you get from the raid has additional types of perks. So as you guys know, in Destiny, we have different perks. For example, we have Intellect, we have Discipline, and we have Strength. Now, as you guys know, in my previous videos, I've told you guys what these are, but I'm just going to go through them really quick. So, Intellect basically reduces the ability of a cooldown. That means the more you have of this one, if it's effective to 100%, you're going to be able to do your super a lot quicker, as opposed to having other stuff equipped. Discipline will reduce the cooldown of your grenade ability, meaning that you'll be able to use your grenade more often. And Strength will primarily reduce the cooldown of your melee, so you're going to be able to melee a lot more quicker. Now, a quick note for this, just for reference, once you have either one level to 100, I already tested it out, and the difference is very, when your regular super is usually, it takes a total of about 5 minutes for it to come back. Now, if you have this fully upgraded, it's going to take 3 minutes. About 3 minutes, 3 minutes and a half. So you're going to see a drop of at least about a minute to a minute and 20 seconds on time if you have this level to 100. On your Discipline, your grenade takes about a minute for it to recharge. Once you have it leveled up completely, it takes a total of about 30 seconds to come out, so you cut down half of the time. And on Strength, your melee takes about a minute and 10 for you to be able to regenerate your melee. Once you have it fully leveled up, it takes 30 minutes for it to come back. So it cuts the time into half. So this is all dependent on how you like to play the game. Now, there's a lot of people that like to use their super. Me personally, I love using my super as much as often as I can. So I do like to have my ability for my super to be very high, which will be Intellect. So Intellect, as you see right here, is 242. And that's because I like to use my super very often. Now, what I didn't know was the following that I'm trying to get over, let you guys know what it is that I'm trying to explain. So you see right now, I got the Facade of Hezen Lords. Now, this I got off the raid. I have multiple of these. As you see, I got a total of 3 of them. So I didn't know that each one had a different stat. I thought that all of them had the same stats. Like, all of them were going to be light 30 into like the 100, and it wasn't like that. It's actually, each one has its individual stats. So I've seen a couple people dismantle when they have too many of them, and I didn't know each one has its own stats. So it's going to be very, you're going to have to pick which one you want and which one goes more with your style of play. So there's a lot of people that like to use a lot of nades. You're gonna want to go ahead and you pick the grenade ability, which is Discipline. You're going to want your Discipline to be really high, so you could at least to 100, so you could have your grenades a lot. If you like to melee, you're going to want your Strength high, and if you like to use your super, your Intellect. So I didn't know each one has its individual stats. For example, the one I have right now has light 30, and it has Intellect 100. So that means I'm going to be able to use my super quite often. Now, if I were to switch over to this one, you guys will notice that my Intellect drops down to 52%. That means my super won't be as high, but my Strength does go a lot higher. It'll increase my melee, so I can melee faster. If I pick this one, you'll notice that it drops it to 142, back to 42%, and it gives me better Strength, and it gives me better Discipline. So it's going to let me reduce my grenade. So I wish I had found something that has high Intellect and high grenade, because I can merge it with different types of armor that's going to give me my super quite often. But as of right now, I like to use my super a lot, so I'm going to stick with the one I have. And this also applies to the gloves. As you guys see, the gloves, this one has 30 light, Discipline 80, which is going to reduce the ability of grenades. Since my grenades, I have the ability that when I have certain weapons increased, the grenade energy is going to be replenished. So if you see, my Discipline's 88. So right here, this one splits the Intellect to 44. So as you see, my Intellect goes back to 100%, meaning that I'm going to be able to use my super very often. But it drops down my Discipline. It drops it down all the way down to 16%. And that's gonna make me take a little bit longer to use my nades, which comes beneficial when I'm using the Void, because in the Void I don't need my nades as much as I do when I'm using the Sunslinger. So it's all dependent on your style of play. And you could also do this one. This one's will push up the discipline and will push this back to 89. So as you guys see, each of them have different types of abilities. And this one is 30, 88 of 30 light, and this one is of 88 discipline. This one's only 88. So this one's 88, sorry, and this one's 80. So I'm definitely going to stick with the 88. But even though if I ever want to, just keep getting my super very, very quickly, then I would have to upgrade this one right here, so my super could be back really quickly. The same things happens with the Hezen, the vestment. The same thing will happen, as you notice, when this one has 30 light, 78 intellect, and 70 strength. This one will have 63 discipline and 59 strength. So as you guys see right there, this one's a lot better than this one, just in the fact that this one has discipline and this one doesn't, but it has intellect, which is what I want, because intellect I use quite often. So this one pushes it up to 67 and it gives you discipline. Sorry, that's not even a raid armor. As you see, this one has a strength to 128, so that means my melee ability will come back really quick. As you see right there, my strength goes up really high once that's enabled. So those are that. And also the boots have the same thing as well. So this one has 64 intellect and 63 strength. This one has only discipline, so my discipline will go up really quickly, meaning my grenades will come back really quick. And this one has 115 strength. So depending on what I want to use, if I could get someone to have more intellect, I would definitely equip those, because I like to use my super quite often. So this was something I didn't know, and I found out today, and I wanted to share with you guys in case you guys didn't know. And were dismantling your raid gear, I highly suggest you gather all the raid gear you have, level up the ones you guys think, and switch periodically on the way you're playing it. For example, when I'm playing my Sunslinger, I like to have my grenades as often, so I would switch these up. But when I'm using my Void, I like to use my super very often, so I want to have something that has a lot of intellect. And when I use my Sunslinger, I like to have discipline, because my grenades will come a lot faster. So it's always good to level each raid gear, just to be switching around and playing around with which ones you have. Well guys, I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and if you did, make sure you guys leave a comment and a like. And don't forget, for all things Destiny, head over to Gamer Fusion, where we empower your gaming.